8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Malavarachi, assisted by Sanjaya and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines: legal action against 71 institutions for quarantine law violation. Recoveries from the virus climbed to 54,435 earlier today, with 1,869 more patients returning to health. A 1,260-kilometre-long electric fence will be set up to solve the human-elephant conflict. India hands over the first batch of the Oxford-AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The Dambulla Economic Centre states the prices of vegetables will reduce in the next few days. A man was killed at a protest against Lebanon's total lockdown. Legal action is to be filed against the administrators and supervisors of 71 government and non-government institutions which were inspected yesterday for not complying with quarantine regulations, stated the police spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana. 830 institutions were inspected yesterday and 759 were found to have followed the regulations, while 71 have been apprehended for non-compliance. The total number of institutions inspected since the 10th of January is 7,728, while legal action was filed against the managers of 1,160 institutions so far. Further, 16 persons were arrested during the last 24 hours for the offence of non-compliance of social distancing and face mask regulations, the spokesman said. It was stated that the rapid antigen testing system is to be conducted at 12 exit points in the Western Province for all long-distance buses. COVID-19 infections registered in Sri Lanka crossed the 61,000 mark as 351 more persons tested positive today. According to the Department of Government Information, the newly identified patients are close contacts of the earlier cases linked to the Paligoda cluster. As per statistics, the total number of COVID-19 infections confirmed in the country to date now stands at 61,045. Recoveries from the virus meanwhile climbed to 54,435 earlier today, with 1,869 more patients returning to health. This is the highest number of single-day recoveries recorded in the country. However, 6,320 active cases are still under medical care at select hospitals and treatment centres. Meanwhile, the death toll from the virus outbreak sits at 290. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. A 1,260-kilometre-long electric fence will be set up to solve the human-elephant conflict in the country. Participating in a programme in the Ampara area, State Minister Vimalavira Desanayake said vulnerable areas for both elephants and people have already been identified, and the electric fences will be set up for the benefit of both farmers and the jumbos. The Dambulla Economic Centre says the prices of vegetables will reduce in the next few days. The chairman of the Traders Association of the centre, Channa Aravala, said that the supply of vegetables to the centre have reduced by 25% in the recent months due to heavy rains experienced in the vegetable growing areas. That's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Gopal Bagle, today symbolically handed over the first batch of the Oxford-AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the Bandaranaike International Airport. The consignment was donated by the Indian government based on request by President Rajapaksa to the Indian Premier Narendra Modi. The consignment of 42 boxes with 500,000 vaccine doses arrived at the BIA this morning. The Covishield doses will be directed to the central vaccine storage and will be administered from tomorrow. Under the first phase, select frontline workers engaged in COVID mitigation efforts will receive the vaccine. The Sri Lanka Army, under the close supervision of the Commander of the Army, General Shavendra Silva, transported the vaccines to prioritised areas as recommended by the Presidential Task Force.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight, the Sri Lanka Postal Service is planned to be fully digitalised with the latest technology in the world with the objective to provide the most efficient and reliable service to the customers of Sri Lanka. The Media Minister Keheli Rambukalla said the objective is to build the postal service through all the modern strategies in the world within the policy framework of the government. At present, there are 653 post offices in operation in Sri Lanka and 3,410 sub-post offices have been established. Steps have been taken to network all these offices.
World News, brought to you by courtesy of
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In world news headlines, a man was killed at a protest against Lebanon's total lockdown. Thai police arrest 89 foreigners in a bar raid. Singapore's Lion King cub Simba, born from dead dad Mufasa's semen. A man has died after protesters angry with the total coronavirus lockdown and dire economic conditions clashed with riot police in the Lebanese city of Tripoli for a third consecutive night. Omar Taiba, 29, was among 220 people injured during the unrest. His brother said he had been shot. Witnesses and local media reported that police fired live rounds at protesters. The round-the-clock curfew imposed this month to halt a surge in COVID-19 cases has worsened Lebanon's economic crisis. Police on the Thai island of Koh Phangan have arrested 89 foreigners during a raid on a bar that was flouting coronavirus restrictions. Those arrested were from more than 10 countries, including the UK and the US. Thailand is currently under an emergency decree with restrictions on mass gatherings. The country has recorded 15,465 cases and 76 deaths, far fewer than Western nations. However, cases have been on the rise in the recent weeks. Singapore Zoo is celebrating the arrival of its first lion cub born through artificial insemination. Unfortunately, baby Simba will never get to meet his father Mufasa because the geriatric lion was not revived after the insemination procedure. Simba is late Mufasa's only son, as the older cat's aggression meant he never successfully mated. Instead, the zoo decided to try to continue his bloodline through the rarely used process. And now the headlines of the World News segment once again. A man was killed at a protest against Lebanon's total lockdown. Thai police arrest 89 foreigners in a bar raid. Singapore's lion cub Simba, born from dead dad Mufasa's semen.
World News, brought to you by courtesy of
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
And now in development news, the Minister of Tourism Prasanna Ranatunga says that several programs have been planned to promote the Peradeniya Botanical Gardens as a tourist attraction. The Peradeniya Gardens After touring the Peradeniya Gardens, Minister Ranatunga stated that there are plans to build a car park in front of the gardens in collaboration with the Kandy Municipal Council. The minister also emphasised the need to develop other botanical gardens across the island as well. That was development news. And now in sports news, it was decided to appoint a new selection committee for Sri Lanka cricket following a discussion between Sports Minister Namal Rajapaksa and heads of the SLC. The head coach of the Sri Lanka cricket team, officials of the National Sports Council and officials of the Ministry of Sports also participated in this discussion. According to the Minister of Sports on his Facebook account, in addition to the new selection committee, a competitive local provincial tournament is also planned. Meanwhile, the decision was also taken to appoint a director and an advisor to assist the head coach so that the discipline and fitness of the team is prioritised. The Minister of Sports has instructed to make payments to cricket players based on their talent and to contract them out. That was sports news. And now in business news, the number of
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
And now in business news. The number of new cars built in the UK last year fell by a third to just under 921,000, the lowest total since 1984, latest industry figures reveal. Output was 920,928 vehicles, a 29.3% fall on 2019, rounding off a dreadful year, Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders Chief Mike Hawes said. Pandemic-enforced plant closures and falling consumer demand meant the worst output in a generation.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News. Courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh, no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And now in economic news, the stock market has achieved new highs due to continued optimism among investors. The all-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange has surpassed the 8,000 points mark for the first time in history recently. Commenting on the spike in the performance of CSE, Dhammika De Silva, an investment advisor attached to a leading stockbroking company in Sri Lanka, said, stock market has continued to remain bullish, recording high levels of turnover.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And now for the weather report. The Met Department forecasts several spells of showers in the northern, north-central, eastern and Uva provinces and in the Mathale and Hambantota districts. The Met Department says showers will occur at a few places elsewhere in the evening. Moreover, the forecast says fairly heavy falls above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in the eastern province and in the Nuwara Eliya, Mullaitivu and Polonnaruwa districts. That was the weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. Legal action against 71 institutions for quarantine law violation. Recoveries from the virus climbed to 54,435 earlier today, with 1,869 more patients returning to health. A 1,260-kilometre-long electric fence will be set up to solve the human-elephant conflict. India hands over the first batch of the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The Double Economic Centre states the prices of vegetables will reduce in the next few days. A man was killed at a protest against Lebanon's total lockdown. That concludes this news broadcast.